What's our plan?
This is our home. This is our family. This is our fortress. This is where we make our stand. Avatar: The Way of Water
is coming next month. So let me quickly give you a recap of all the events of Avatar and all the things that you might need to know to understand and enjoy this part. Avatar, or more accurately Avatar, is a story of humans going to an alien planet, Pandora, to get a rare metal called unobtainium. Pandora is not exactly a planet, it's a moon of a gas giant of a different solar system. Why are humans after unobtainium? Unobtainium is a superconductor. Basically, when electricity flows through unobtainium, there is no loss of energy due to resistance. In simple words, say for example, in current condition, we pay more for electricity than we use because of inefficient transmission systems. But with unobtainium wires, there will be no energy loss and we will save our electricity bills. So that's why humans go to Pandora. But is that the only reason? Did the humans travel in a spaceship 5 years into space just to mine? Does not make sense. Actually, I believe that humans went there with the general purposes of space travel, like curiosity, to see if there are other planets that are habitable, to see if there is life. If there is life, the purpose is to interact with them, learn from them, and grow together as an interstellar civilization. That was the purpose. But the problem is that Pandora is a smaller planet with lesser gravity, and perhaps that's why the atmosphere is thinner, which is why humans cannot survive there without an oxygen mask. So it's not exactly habitable for humans. So every individual going there is going with different purpose. So for business people, the opportunity is to unearth the unobtainium and make as much money as they can by selling it on Earth. Then there are scientists, the curious people, who research the Navi are the blue people, for their flora and fauna and understand the culture, understand the people, which might benefit humanity. And then there is the third kind, the soldiers. They're there to protect humans from the local tribes and the wild flora and fauna, but they're soldiers. So what they're looking for is a conflict, a reason to fight for.
All I ever wanted in my sorry-ass life was a single thing worth fighting for.
This is where our story begins. You see, I don't blame the soldiers for being the villains. They are not bad. I recently learned something about pet dogs. The pet dog owners walk their dogs every day. It seems like a leisure activity, but there's a deeper purpose to it. Dogs, just like other wild animals, have a lot of energy in them because their primary objective is to fight for food and survival. By walking the dog, you drain them of their energy so that when you take them home, they are calm and they just rest at home. If you don't do that, if you don't walk the dog, they'll get aggressive, they'll get violent. They will destroy the property of the house and even bite the owner. Similarly, soldiers have that kind of energy in them. Soldiers by nature have to fight for a cause in which they might die. There is a requirement of a mental conditioning to do the fighting. So when there is no normal conflict, they might seek conflict where there isn't. An example of it we see through our protagonist Jake Sully, because he too is seeking fight. All he needs is a purpose. Now, the difference between normal soldiers and Jake Sully is his disability. That is, he cannot walk without a wheelchair. He has a twin brother who died because of a theft gone wrong, And so Jake Sully is recruited to go to Pandora for an experiment where his mind is paired with a blue body genetically engineered using the Navi DNA and human DNA. You can see the difference between the Navi locals and this genetically engineered by the number of fingers they have. Using the technology that is called dreamwalking in the local language, Jake's consciousness is transferred to a blue body, a fully functioning blue body. The result of that is that while other people whose consciousness is transferred to blue bodies, they see those blue bodies as vehicles, like a car. So they ride it like normal drivers do. Ride it or drive it, what's it called? It's actually called that. So they drive the vehicle, but the thing is that if they find themselves in a dangerous situation, they will simply tap out and wake up. But same is not the situation with Jake. In the blue body, Jake feels free because his legs are functioning. He can run. He can fly. So when he gets separated from his group during his first tour in the wild, he fights for survival and not just simply wakes up. That's why he assimilates with the local tribes very well. He understands their perspective, and that's where he finds the purpose to fight back, to fight against his own people, to fight against humans. That's the story. But the purpose of a story is not complete until we understand the moral. So what's the moral of Avatar? There is a documentary on science fiction genre hosted by James Cameron. In it, they mention a point that the purpose of sci-fi stories is to make us understand of the bitter truths. Facts that we won't usually accept because our biases. Say for example, in the case of Avatar, the point is that we humans had a colonization era where the European powers went around the world taking control of other land, considering the locals of that place as second-rate citizens, just robbing them of their resources and destroying their local culture, which they consider inferior. As a storyteller, he knows that he cannot change the history. What he can do is make people aware of the mistake so that we don't make it again. That's the purpose of a story. Now, why is it wrong to colonize? These Europeans were definitely advanced. They had industries, modern medicine. They had a better understanding of the universe. So why is it wrong to share it with other people and take something in exchange for it? The colonizers think that they are superior because of their firepower. What they fail to understand is the locals and their culture, which we see in Avatar as well. The Navi might be tribal people who are still in the Stone Age and their main job is hunting and gathering. But does that mean that they are backward? You see, they have a very advanced culture that blends well with the nature of the planet. See, nature is the greatest scientist. No human can ever match that. While the humans of that movie take unobtainium to just make cheaper electricity, the nature uses unobtainium to create a neural network that transcends mortality. What it does is that it stores the consciousness of people in it so that when new babies are born, that consciousness can be restored and people can continue their life. The colonizers, the humans, while they consider themselves superior, actually they are too dumb to understand the advancement of technology of the locals of Pandora. It's like using Albert Einstein's research as toilet paper. Now, this is a fictional world, but it takes inspiration from a real world culture. That's where the inspiration of Avatar comes in. Avatar is an Indian concept Indians believe in the immortal self. We believe in reincarnation. We believe that there is an immortal self called soul, and then there is a mortal self, a body. The soul enters the body, we live a life, and then when the body perishes, the soul moves on to a different body in future. So the body is called avatar. The most popular avatar is the avatars of Vishnu. Vishnu is the god of sustenance. The most popular Vishnu avatars are Ram from Ramayana and Krishna from Mahabharata. These were known to be great leaders of the past who helped people live a better life. These Vishnu avatars are portrayed as blue-skinned people. Perhaps that's why James Cameron portrays the Na'vi as blue-skinned people. And the concept of reincarnation, or where they can store their consciousness in the tree and then get it back again, comes from the Indian culture. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is that when the British colonizers came to India, they thought of us as inferior, when in reality they failed to understand the cultural significance. Even today, there is idol smuggling going on, where the stone statues are stolen from temples, the remote temples, and taken to museums. You see, in the museum, a stone statue is just something beautiful to admire. But in India, in the temple, the purpose is far greater. In temples, these idols have a purpose. There are many stories attached to them. The stories that help us guide through life. Say, for example, if we are praying to a Krishna statue, what we are doing is keeping in mind that these gods taught us something which we know in form of Bhagavad Gita. Like the shlok, Karmanyavadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana.
Ma karma phala heturbhu. Ma te sangostva karmani.
I don't care about my outcome. As long as I am alive, I will fight for my cause. It's a normal principle that has great value for people who are lost in their life. This is just one nugget of teaching that was curated over 7,000 years of existence of Indian culture. Now I, as an Indian, have a responsibility to bring back the cultural awareness of India, first to the Indians, us Indians, including me, and then to the entire humanity, so that we benefit from it. Similarly, the resolution of the Avatar conflict comes from that approach. In the first movie, we saw that the tribals fought the humans. They forced humans to leave planet Pandora. That's a temporary solution. They will always come back, and that's why there are Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5. The permanent solution is to make the humans understand the importance of Na'vi culture and find a balance where humans learn to peacefully coexist, and perhaps with the help of Na'vi people, find a way to bring back the earth to its glorious days, or even greater. There's more to talk about Avatar, and I will in other videos, but for now I'm ending it here. Till then, thank you.